Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this edition of Inside Rebel Football. I'm Stanley Duper, your host, and I'm joined by interim head coach Kevin Davis. And Coach, first of all, congratulations on the big win against East Ascension on the road last week.
Well, thank you, Stanley. I appreciate it.
I want to kind of go back and talk about that game. First of all, with everything that was going on distraction-wise in our community and your football team and our school, and going on a long road trip, 4-hour road trip, you just were not sure how the kids were going to perform, and I think they just answered the challenge.
They did. It was a great Friday for us. We had been talking about it since probably Tuesday or Wednesday. How we were going to do things, when they were going to get out of school, when we were going to eat, when we were going to have our devotion, when they were going to load their bags, when we were going to get the buses there, when we were going to, just all the things we were going to do. We'd tell them every day. So they had a pretty good idea, and I couldn't have asked for a better group. Coaches taking care of our kids acting the way they're supposed to, and really locking in and getting ready for a business trip is what we called it, to go down there and then to go 4.5 hours, play a really good EA team. My hat's off to our coaching staff and our players.
And just something I heard, for what it's worth, I heard that on the way down you stopped somewhere and talk about that. Somebody just talked about how well-mannered our kids were.
We had two instances. One was on the way down, and we stopped at Woodville, Mississippi, at just a rest stop, and we got off one bus at a time. We're sitting there traveling with about 160 people on three buses. Got off one bus at a time. Kids went to the restroom. They had a goodie bag when they got back on the bus to snack on, and we let bus 2 go. We let bus 3 go, and there were some people there that was just kind of waiting around just because there were so many kids. And they went in and they told the people in the stop there, the rest stop that worked there, just how polite the gentlemen were, our trainers and our players, how clean the place was. They really worried about walking into a restroom that was trashed, which was not the case.
Yeah.
And they had a lot of great things to say, and the people there said that they would definitely email administration because it's by far the best group they'd ever seen come through there.
Well, that's awesome, and that's hats off to all you coaches and the example y'all are trying to set for our young men. I want to talk a little bit about the game a little bit. East Ascension, just a huge, big offensive team. They were big defensively. Size-wise, it seemed like we just couldn't match. We couldn't match up on paper, but man, with the heart and the effort, our kids just seemed like they played well.
They did. They played really well, and you go down there and you have to dress in a dressing room, get everything out of that dressing room once you're dressed, put it back on our U-Haul trailer. After the game, you have to get the bags back off the U-Haul because it's only one dressing room, so their kids come in from school. The school's not at the stadium,
right,
and they have to use the dressing room. So it was a lot of things that we're not accustomed to, but I thought our kids adjusted just because we had talked about it all week. They expected it. They knew what it was going to be like. And they just laid it on the line and just played a great football game.
And it seemed like when we needed a defensive stop, a big play, the game was only a touchdown lead late in the fourth quarter, and they got the ball back, had a chance to tie the game up, and I think was it Roark that had the big hit, and then the scoop and score we had that just put the game out of reach. And I tell you, it's just like the kids just, they never quit the whole game.
They didn't. They didn't play with a lot of passion, a lot of excitement, just laid it out there on the line. And like you said, the defense came up big. Special teams came up big.
Right.
Had the great punts by Daniel, just pinning them back in their territory. And offensively, scored when we needed to, felt like at the end, I got a little conservative there, and felt like we wanted to run clock. Probably should have thrown it around a little more just to get those first downs instead of being 3 and out a couple of times. And but the kids responded well and just did a great job.
Also felt like Federico being his second full scrimmage because he didn't play in the jamboree and he didn't play a lot of scrimmages. He didn't play any scrimmages in the fall, and so the first game against Sterlington was his first live scrimmage since last year.
Right.
And I thought that he just really threw the ball well at times and did some really good things leading the team.
He did. He's getting more and more comfortable. It's like you said, this is his second scrimmage, his second live session, and to go against a group as good as EA was, he handled himself well, just like he always does. Made some great decisions on a lot of things, and the good thing about Hayden is, before I get him in the film room, he already tells me, okay, this is what I need to work on. This is what I didn't do a good job at, and so kind of takes a little of my thunder away from me. But that's what's so special about him. He understands it, knows how to make the adjustments.
Yeah. Well, Coach, we're going to take a break and get into talking about some of these offensive players that you brought tonight and the offensive coaches you brought tonight, and then we're going to look at some highlights and do the defensive side,
Okay.
and then we'll wrap it up in the fourth quarter.
All righty.
All right, we're going to take a break, and we'll be back with some offense and the offensive players right after this. Time out.
We know you. You were the kid in the garage taking everything apart just to see how it worked. The teenager who stayed up late brainstorming and put it all in a business plan. You knew how to build a great team and then lead it. Origin helps entrepreneurs like you every day, from the corner of the garage to the corner office. Connecting people to their dreams is our passion. Every great relationship has an origin story. Start yours today.
For years, you've trusted us with your car buying experience. You've trusted us to provide service after the sale. You've even trusted us to help keep your vehicle clean. Now it's time for us to have some fun.
Polaris of Ruston, where the road ends, adventure begins.
Suffer from back or neck pain, sciatic, or even constant headaches? Hi everybody, I'm Dr. Kyle Nix at the newly opened Twin City Chiropractic. My staff and I aim to provide long-term solutions to help you get back to what really matters, living your life pain-free. Our services include chiropractic care, spinal rehab and traction, massage therapy, whole body vibration, and Normatec compression. For kids to adults, we treat anyone who is in need of maintenance care, corrective spinal care, or personal injury and auto accident cases. Feel like you again at Twin City Chiropractic. We're located at 1117 Forsyth Avenue in Monroe, next to Cormier's, or call us at 318-582-5029.
Hey, welcome back to Inside Rebel Football, the second quarter offense edition, and I'm joined by former defensive backfield coach, now wide receiver coach, Cedric Goins. And Coach Goins, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Coach, first of all, let's talk about this. Last year I interviewed you. You were on the defensive secondary side of the ball, and now you got moved to the wide receivers coach this year. Talk about that transition from last year and this year and how you got there.
Offense is where I started out coaching, something I've always been passionate about. When I came over to West Monroe, it was a job opening on the defensive side of the ball, and coaching football is coaching football. It's blocking, tackling, and catching, and that's so it was a easy transition for me going to defense. When a chance came open for me to come back to the offensive side of the ball, I kind of just jumped on it. I voiced my thought process on it, and Coach made it happen.
You got on this side of the ball, and I mean, you're just loaded to me from at the receiver position. I mean, you got it at the right time, and we're going to have a couple of special seniors on after this segment, David Moore and Grant Edmondson, and of course two of the the best receivers. I've been told before the season started, this is our deepest group of receivers we've had at West Monroe, maybe ever. And it's just and it's watching Grant play and David play and Davis play, the little sophomore, they're electric when they touch the ball. Talk about the group that you have and what they do that makes them special.
They've definitely made the transition easy for me. You have David, who seems like he's been there forever.
Right.
This is his 4th year there. He dressed as a freshman, played in some games as a freshman, and has been starting for the last 3 years. Him along with Grant, they know what's expected, and they do a good job of showing up each and every day, coming ready to play. I made them accountable for each other this summer, so they kind of push each other and they make sure the other one's not falling off. And the younger kids kind of just follow suit. You mentioned Trez Davis. He's a sophomore. He's going to be a really, really good player, a really, really good talent to follow. Along with him, you have another sophomore, Kavion Mitchell. You have a junior with Lucas Dupriest. You have a couple more kids like Caden Colvin.
Right. Dupriest played a lot last year.
Yes, Dupriest played some last year as well.
Right.
But they've made the transition a very smooth one for me. Yes, sir.
We're loaded at that position, and we've have thrown the ball a little more this year, and I guess because we've got those weapons out there. Talk to me about, of course, the catch that David made against East Ascension, and I mean it's just I didn't see how he was going to be able to catch the ball. It looks like it was going to be intercepted or tipped or blocked, but man, what an outstanding catch David Moore had.
It really probably shouldn't have been thrown to him. The corner kind of baited us, but balls was up high, and David did a great job of high pointing it, going up, looking it all the way in, and taking it away from the cornerback. And those are the type of plays that he makes, day in, day out. I know it may amaze a lot of people on Friday nights, but we get to see it every day in practice, him making catches through traffic. Certain catches that a normal kid, may drop because he didn't look it all the way in, or something flashed across his face and got his attention. But he looks it in all the way every time, and it's something that I noticed early on, and it's something that's probably made him as successful as he has been since he's been there.
And Grant had 3 catches for 57 yards the other night. It just seems like he, David, and even Davis, it seems if Fed's in trouble, they seem to know when to circle back and or try to get open or break their route. Is that something y'all work on and talk about in practice?
It's called a scramble drill. The quarterbacks gets to scrambling. They know, if I had the deep route, I have to work back to the ball. If I had the short route, my job is now to push vertical up the field. And it happens a couple of days at practice, a week, a couple of times at practice per day. And, and if they don't do it, they know they're going to get coached up on it when they come to the sideline. So, and it's good to see it translate into the game situations as well.
Coach, how about probably if you say a weakness for those 3 starters? Is it blocking downfield? Is it not taking a play off? What would you say they need to work on?
I'll probably say blocking. They I don't want to say take plays off, but they'll get there and they'll get the initial block, but they don't hold it long enough sometimes, and that's something that we've been putting a big focus on, especially this week after the East Ascension game.
Right.
They cleaned up their angles last week, and the first week it was, hey, you got to take this angle to get there to get the block. Well, now they're getting there, and they're initially blocking them, but they ain't hold it long enough. So they're improving on it this week, and hopefully when the time gets right, we gel at the right time and are doing everything perfect.
Well, I tell you, you got a fine group of young men, and of course, after this next segment, I'm going to get a chance to interview those 2 guys, and they have just done a great job, it seems like. And I know that, Coach Davis on the offensive side, and y'all are not afraid to put the ball up when you got guys like those 3 that can catch it and make plays and score points for West Monroe. All right, we're going to take a break, and we'll be back and with Grant Amundsen and David Moore right after this timeout.
Coach, look what I got. The Rocket Fast Playbook.
That's awesome, Sport. What does it say?
First, you get him in the tunnel. Second, you blindside him with the wall of foam. Third, you call an audible. Then comes the Hail Mary. You hit him with the fast pass. Coach, it's brilliant. No dirty opponent stands a chance against Rocket Fast.
Hey, that's my playbook. Where'd you get that? Oh, it doesn't matter. Just sing the song.
Rocket Fast. It's a blast. And your vehicle is clean.
Do you suffer from back or neck pain, sciatic, or even constant headaches? Hi everybody, I'm Dr. Kyle Nix at the newly opened Twin City Chiropractic. My staff and I aim to provide long-term solutions to help you get back to what really matters, living your life pain-free. Our services include chiropractic care, spinal rehab and traction, massage therapy, whole body vibration, and Normatec compression. For kids to adults, we treat anyone who is in need of maintenance care, corrective spinal care, or personal injury and auto accident cases. Feel like you again at Twin City Chiropractic. We're located at 1117 Forsyth Avenue in Monroe, next to Cormier's, or call us at 318-582-5029.
You were an entrepreneur before you knew what an entrepreneur was. The boss of every stuffed animal in the toy box. The kid who had strategy and passion from day one. You ran a lemonade stand that actually turned a profit. Every day, Origin helps people like you who've always had the vision to see the full potential of any idea and make it happen. Connecting people to their dreams is our passion. Every great relationship has an origin story. Start yours today.
Hey, welcome back to Inside Rebel Football, second quarter, the offense edition, and I'm joined by two senior offensive wide receivers, Grant Edmondson and David Moore. And guys, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
Well, guys, first of all, I want to tell you a great game the other night against East Ascension, and each one of y'all had two big-time plays. And, David, I'm going to start with you first. I was kind of in the corner down there on the end zone when you caught the big pass that kind of turned things around in the game. And talk about that pass, because I don't know how you caught it. It looks like that Fed had a small window to throw into.
Yeah, I mean, I seen I think it was the safety when he had came across. I thought he was going to intercept the ball, but it looked like he jumped early. When I was in the air, I literally jumped over both of them, so it was perfect. Like, it looked perfect. We got in the end zone, turned over with the guys, got the momentum, and we was turned from that point on.
Well, it was a big-time catch and a big-time play, and it just kind of changed everything there for a second. It looks like West Monroe just really was taking control of the game, and then they came back and scored and kicked off. And then Grant Edmondson, talk about that 92-yard kickoff return you had.
Just caught it on the left side, left hash, and EA did a good job of getting their kickoff team down there. They were big guys, and so whenever our team hit their team, it was kind of like a standstill. And so once they did that, I realized that there wasn't no going up the middle, so I saw a crease on the outside edge, and I knew if I got around that first guy, then I'd be good to go. And so that's exactly what I did. Went outside to the left, and then the kicker came, and I was like, I'm just going to lower my shoulder and hope for the best. And so I did. He didn't knock me out of bounds, and so I was able to keep going.
Well, it was kind of hard to see when you ran down the sideline where I was, and I kind of peeked out to watch, and it looked like you were fixing to run over the guy. But to me, I haven't seen the replay of the film. It looks like he kind of saw you and got out of the way a little bit. Because next thing I know, you're off to the races.
He kind of went over my back. Either he didn't realize I was going to be as fast at that angle, or he just didn't want it. So
he didn't
one of the two.
He was scared.
Well, guys, just in 2 games, and this is kind of unofficial stats, but I want to talk about that. Coaches don't like talking about stats, but you two guys are electric players on the team, and I'm going to talk about your other role on defense as well. But, Grant, I've got you unofficially 5 catches for 73 yards and touchdowns, right? 1 touchdown, and that's on special teams. And, David, I got you 2 receptions for 41 yards, but also got you 2 rushes for 19 yards, but 2 touchdowns as well. And that's only been 2 games, and you guys have you've just kind of been the spark for us. I felt like offense, especially going back to the Sterlington game when on the reverse play that you had and the cutback to really put that game out of reach. Guys, I want to talk to you about playing on the other side of the ball. You know, one of the things that happened the other night, the game got tight. I noticed that Coach Arledge called you guys in and said, hey, I need you back in the secondary towards the end of the game. Talk about that in your roles, and do you practice much in the week on defense, or are you primarily practicing on offense? David, I'll start with you.
I mean, both of us, it go for both of us. The receiver really is our main home, so when they call us on defense, we know that they want a big play, so we just try our best to deliver.
Yeah, and Practice, yes, about practice. We normally go to defense on Tuesdays. Like Tuesday is our defensive day, and so that's kind of how we balance. But every now and then, throughout Monday and Wednesday, we'll kind of go over to defense for a couple plays if we can get some extra reps in over there.
And I don't have to, I know the answer to this question, but if you had to ask what your favorite was, I know what y'all would say.
Offense.
I knew you would say that, the offensive side of the ball. But guys, it's one of the things I want to ask you is playing on the offensive side of the ball. What's one thing, David, that you feel like you need to work on to improve from the offensive side of the ball?
My blocking.
Your blocking?
Yeah,
downfield blocking?
Yes, sir. I'm still a little lazy with my blocking. I feel like I get that under control, we're gonna have a lot of big plays coming, a lot of big runs.
Grant?
I think my releases in press coverage.
Okay, that's good. Well, you guys are, we got Delhi Charter coming in this week, and it's homecoming week on top of that. There's been a lot of things going on. I know coaches don't like homecoming because of all the distractions, and the tomorrow, Thursday night will be the big night, the hoorah, and then you do it again, I think, Friday for the student body, and it's really impressive. You guys got a special part in the homecoming assembly that y'all do, David?
We do.
Yes, sir. We escort the homecoming court runner-ups, and yeah, it's really a good time for the team and us bonding with the cheerleaders.
Yeah.
Well, last question, guys. I'm going to ask you, David, you got you a date for homecoming?
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Grant?
No, sir.
No date. Neither one of you guys. Hey, look, ladies, it's not too late if you're watching this tonight. These are two great young men that are looking for dates. Maybe Friday night after the game we'll get y'all a date.
We'll have to see.
And I hope you catch a lot of touchdowns as well. So. All right, we're going to take a break, and we'll be back right after this timeout.
For years, you've trusted us with your car buying experience. You've trusted us to provide service after the sale. You've even trusted us to help keep your vehicle clean. Now it's time for us to have some fun.
Polaris of Ruston, where the road ends, adventure begins.
Do you suffer from back or neck pain, sciatic, or even constant headaches? Hi everybody, I'm Dr. Kyle Nix at the newly opened Twin City Chiropractic. My staff and I aim to provide long-term solutions to help you get back to what really matters, living your life pain-free. Our services include chiropractic care, spinal rehab and traction, massage therapy, whole body vibration, and Normatec compression. For kids to adults, we treat anyone who is in need of maintenance care, corrective spinal care, or personal injury and auto accident cases. Feel like you again at Twin City Chiropractic. We're located at 1117 Forsyth Avenue in Monroe, next to Cormier's, or call us at 318-582-5029.
Hey, welcome back to Inside Rebel Football, the third quarter defense edition, and I'm joined by defensive line coach Josh Jenkins. And Coach Jenkins, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having us, Stanley.
First of all, great job, big task you had Friday night against a huge offensive line East Ascension had. I know that had to concern you going into the game. Talk about your game plan and what you wanted to do to keep those guys from just getting their hands on you all night.
Well, after watching film, we saw how big they were. They got a guy who's in 10th grade that's getting recruited by Georgia, but they were all tall, like 6'4", 6'5". So our game plan was to get lower than them, stay around the hip area with our shoulders, and make them bend, because usually those bigger guys have trouble bending down. And we just use our quickness of shooting gaps and staying in a gap and playing on the edge versus trying to play down the middle of them, because we knew if we got nose to nose with them, they were just going to blow us out. So our game plan was, get on the edge, get your shoulders down, play around their waist, and let's try to create penetration through versus them knocking us off the ball.
One of the things we talked about on the radio before the game, we talked about the game last year against East Ascension when they came to West Monroe. And I thought one of the things they did all night long was they got their hands and pad level right out on us, and they controlled us at that line of scrimmage with that big offensive front. And we thought if we could figure, just what you said, if we could be quicker or figure out a way of them not to get their hands out on us, then we would have a chance to slow the Russian attack down. I thought the first two drives that EA had, they penetrated us into our side of our side of the field early on, but then we had the fumble, and then we tended to change things and shut them down. What did you do, I would say, late first quarter, early second quarter, any changes you made on the defensive front?
We didn't really just make a whole lot of changes. We just kind of emphasized, they're bigger than you. You can't go down the middle of them. You have to pick an edge. We had, some tendencies on them that we knew sometimes where the ball was going, and we would, gap, and we would send row arc through certain gaps to make sure, let him make a play.
Right. Well, I thought as the night went on, it just seemed like we continued to take charge of that offensive line. Our defensive front did, and I know you were rotating a lot of guys across the front. We had a lot of linebackers coming in and out, but it seemed like we were fresh and we were just getting after them really, really good, and you could tell they were getting a little tired in that second half.
One of the big things was, like you said, we was rotating in. That's our plan. We need 3 or 4 tackles that can rotate in and out. We need 3 or 4 defensive ends that can rotate in and out. And by the time the fourth quarter rolls around, we're going to be fresh. And whoever's usually the freshest, if it's a close game at that point in time, those are the guys who are going to come out on top. And, we, do our D-line drills full speed every day. And, when we're going from one drill to the next, we're running to those drills, and all that at the end of the day adds up to helping your conditioning, towards ball games.
We thought that one of the things we talked about after the game, we were kind of surprised that EA gave up so quickly running the football in the second half and started throwing more, or at least that's what we talked about on the radio. We thought that, and you think it's because we were stopping the run so effectively in the second half?
I think there was a couple times they got like 3rd and 1 and couldn't get it.
Right.
They had other short yardage opportunities, and we were getting push on them. So, my best guess is let's drop back. They're pretty good in pass coverage, and we were getting closing it in, and then a little athletic 10th grade quarterback would just find the hole, wiggle around, and the more time you can give a receiver to move around, it's harder for them DBs to stay with them. And we play a lot of zone. We don't play a lot of man. So, therefore, we're playing a zone. And once those receivers start moving around, they can find open zones or open areas where they can sit down in. And the quarterback just looks around, finds them, and then we just have to rally and tackle the guy that catches the ball.
So you, after watching the film and this week, you feel like your defensive front played pretty well?
I think the defensive line played extremely well. Now, was it perfect? No. But we did execute a lot of things very well, and we got a lot of learning material from the game that's going to help us this week.
Let's talk about Delhi Charter. Talk about that. What kind of offense they run, and what any potential problems they may have for your defensive.
All right, they're a 21 personnel team, meaning they got 2 backs, 1 tight end. All right, and they're going to be split back in the backfield. So think of Acadiana, think of
John
Curtis.
John Curtis.
John Curtis. So that's the kind of offense we're going to see. They'll run the inside veer. They'll run outside veer. They like toss. They got a little bit of counter. And they got all the boots and rollout passes off all those plays that they throw when they want to throw the ball. And one of the big things they like to do is they'll put 4 people on the side or 5 people on the side. And what they're trying to do is get you misaligned, cave everything down, And once they cave it down, they're trying to, get a one-on-one with a strong safety or a corner. And they got one tailback that's really good, and he gets in that situation, it's tough for teams to tackle him in space.
Wow. It ought to be a good game Friday night, Coach, and it's homecoming, and I just hope that our defensive line and the whole defensive players that rotating in and out will be ready to play Friday night, and not so much worried about the homecoming festivities.
Well, with the homecoming dance being this Saturday, they ain't gonna have all the girls on their mind, so I think they'll be locked in, ready to go. And once game time, that first whistle kicks off, they kick it off or we kick it off, whichever one it is. I think we're going to be locked in, ready to go, and get ready to play some Rebel football.
All right, we're going to take another break. We'll be back with one defensive player, one special teams player, Tyler Roark and Daniel Lane, right after this timeout.
We know you. You were the kid in the garage taking everything apart just to see how it worked. The teenager who stayed up late brainstorming and put it all in a business plan. You knew how to build a great team and then lead it. Origin helps entrepreneurs like you every day, from the corner of the garage to the corner office. Connecting people to their dreams is our passion. Every great relationship has an origin story. Start yours today.
Coach, look what I got. The Rocket Fast playbook.
That's awesome, Sport. What does it say?
First, you get him in the tunnel. Second, you blindside him with the wall of foam. Third, you call an audible. Then comes the Hail Mary. You hit him with the fast pass. Coach, it's brilliant. No dirty opponent stands a chance against Rocket Fast.
Hey, that's my playbook. Where'd you get that? Oh, it doesn't matter. Just sing the song.
Rocket Fast. It's a blast, and your vehicle is clean.
Hey, welcome back to Inside Rebel Football, third quarter edition, the defensive edition, and I'm joined by two defensive players, Daniel Lane to my immediate right and Tyler Roark. Guys, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you.
First of all, Tyler, I want to talk to you first. You've last year, second-year starter, and you played linebacker some last year, and now you've moved to the defensive line. Talk about that transition from where you were last year to defensive line this year.
I mean, it was kind of hard at first, but after I got the hang of it, it wasn't really much to it after that. It's kind of just the only really hard part was just working on the footwork part of it and hand placement.
Gotcha. Daniel, you punted a lot last year. You're almost like a two-year starter as well. And I just can't tell you how great of a job you did Friday night punting. The punt that you did that I wish I could have a backspin on my golf shot the way that one that we downed inside the 5-yard line. Talk about your preparation and what you do as a punter.
Just a lot of critiquing the little things like my drop and lots of studying up on like YouTube and things like that because we don't have a coach specifically for punting, so it takes a lot of self-discipline in that area.
Tyler, in the first part of the game against East Ascension last week, maybe the first drive or two, it seemed like East Ascension was getting a pretty good push on us a little bit, and we had that bend but don't break mentality, and but yet the Rebel defense rose to the occasion. That was a big physical offensive line that we played against. I don't know if we'll play one as big as that all year long. Talk about what you guys had to do or what y'all did Friday night as a defensive front to be successful as you guys were.
Our main focus was using our speed and staying low against them because they had some big boys, but they couldn't move as fast as we could. And if we were stunting, going to the left or right, we could beat them every time that way. But when we had to go up one-on-one against them and push them, we had to stay low.
It seems like I couldn't remember. Did we ever we got one quarterback sack?
Yes.
That's what I thought. One quarterback sack. Quarterback was very fast and shifty, and seems like when the pocket was about to collapse, and I thought y'all had him several times, he just would come out of the pocket straight and either head left or right or get out of the way. He was somewhat elusive to bring down. Daniel, I want to talk to you about on your punting. When you go in to punt, Does any of our coaches tell you, what side of the field they want you to punt, or if they want you to just kick it as hard as you can, or try to hit that coffin corner, or is there any strategy that they have for you when you go into the ball game to punt?
So far, nothing this year, but last year had a few that I needed to hit into a coffin corner, and nothing too extravagant yet. But I'm prepared if that comes.
I thought your hang time was really big, and I got some stats on you too. I think you had 3 punts. You averaged 36 yards per punt. Your longest was 42. Probably could have been longer if we were trying to keep them hemmed in that 10-yard line there. And I know if you'd really got your foot into it, you could have got a longer punt. But the key thing I thought was so big for the team was the hang time. I thought your hang time was just outstanding because it allowed our coverage to get down there and down that punt. Talk about that and what you do to work on your hang time.
Like I said, it's just those little things to critique. My drop has a lot to do with it, timing, and my leg swing. It's just something you got to work on for a long time to get perfected like that.
Tyler, on the defensive side of the ball, pass rush, defending against the run, defending against the pass. What I know you don't ever know what they're going to do, but what do you like the best? Do you like the quarterback that drops, defending the pass? You like to rush the quarterback?
Yes, sir.
Talk about why you like to rush the quarterback.
Just trying to get sacked, really. Just trying to get to the QB, knowing if I can make a big play, could give the momentum to us if we need it. Or if we have the momentum, just building on that. And it might boost our offense to go down and score.
Guys, we're going to play Delhi Charter this week. Y'all had a chance to look at them on film and what kind of offense they run?
Yes. They run they'll do an unbalance where they'll have 4 on one side, or they'll go to even on 5 on one side and 1 guy on the other side. They have a T backfield where they'll have 2 guys in the backfield behind their QB. They're mainly under center, but the biggest thing this week is going to be doing your job in the right time and don't try and do somebody else's job.
And knowing where to line up when
That
they
is
got
too.
the unbalanced
Yes.
line and what have you, like that. Guys, it's homecoming this week. Homecoming, the coaches don't like it because there's a lot of distractions, and you get a big thing Thursday night, and then of course y'all had the dance last Saturday night. It hasn't been a distraction this week at practice.
That's right.
Daniel.
Not for me, at least. No, sir.
You're off on long kicking, right?
Yes.
Sorta. Okay.
No,
Tyler?
sir. I think everybody's focused on
I think everybody's focused and ready to play.
Yes, sir.
Well, guys, I can't wait to see y'all Friday night, and I hope you guys, I hope you get a lot of sacks. I hope you get about a 75-yard or 2 punts.
Thank you.
Of course, you might not get to punt at all.
Hopefully
Friday
not.
night. Hopefully not. That's a good thing if you don't.
Yes, sir.
All right, we'll be back right after this timeout.
Do you suffer from back or neck pain, sciatic, or even constant headaches? Hi everybody, I'm Dr. Kyle Nix at the newly opened Twin City Chiropractic. My staff and I aim to provide long-term solutions to help you get back to what really matters, living your life pain-free. Our services include chiropractic care, spinal rehab and traction, massage therapy, whole body vibration, and Normatec compression. For kids to adults, we treat anyone who is in need of maintenance care, corrective spinal care, or personal injury and auto accident cases. Feel like you again at Twin City Chiropractic. We're located at 1117 Forsyth Avenue in Monroe, next to Cormier's, or call us at 318-582-5029.
You were an entrepreneur before you knew what an entrepreneur was. The boss of every stuffed animal in the toy box. The kid who had strategy and passion from day one. You ran a lemonade stand that actually turned a profit. Every day, Origin helps people like you who've always had the vision to see the full potential of any idea and make it happen. Connecting people to their dreams is our passion. Every great relationship has an origin story. Start yours today.
At this time, we're going to look at the offensive and defensive highlights.
All right, here we have a pass from Hayden Federico to Grant Edmondson for 45 yards. This pass came after first drive. We had was a little stagnant on offense, and Coach Davis decided to take a shot. As As you can see, did a little play action, got the defense to hold up. Grant did a good job of getting open. Was able to bring it in. The next highlight on this play is a 33-yard touchdown pass from Hayden Federico to David Moore. David did a good job of looking it all the way in. And Fed did a good job of putting the ball out there. Maybe got a little baited by the corner, but we did a good job of concentrating and seeing it all the way through. The next play, this is one of our double screens. We have a screen on the right side to the wide receiver, screen on the left side to the tailback. Hayden decides to throw it to the right. The screen is set up, and this was a crucial first down in that game for us to get. Grant Edmondson does a good job of catching the ball and making the first defender miss. Like I said, to make sure he gets that first down. After that first down, we kind of had a few little bad plays, couple penalties, and it's 4th and 16. We decided to go for it. Hayden Federico looks. He reads the high safety. The high safety goes, stays towards the middle. He hits sophomore Trez Davis for the 28-yard touchdown. The next highlight. We got Hayden Federico on the scramble drill. He looks, he doesn't see anything. I promise you, we thought that he was going to get sacked right here, but somehow he finds a way to tightrope the sideline to gain a few extra yards to make sure that he keeps the drive going. He looks downfield. Initially what we wanted wasn't there, and it's good to have a quarterback that can do something when things break down. The next play, right here, you have a 8-yard gain by Hayden Willis. At the end, he delivers the hammer. It's great blocks up front by Nate Green and guard Aaron Lesh. Here you have a 13-yard pass from Hayden Federico to Trez Davis. As you can see, Trez is kind of shifty when he has the ball in his hands. He does a good job of getting in and out of his moves. No wasted motion. He gets it out there. He makes the first 2 defenders miss, and thought for a second, he was going to get a chance to outrun the other one, but he comes up just short of the first down. This next play, you have Caden Willis on a huge 8-yard run with a key block from sophomore lineman Ty George. Caden does a good job of getting downhill, getting where he needs to go to make sure that he keeps the chains moving right here. Next, you have Caden Willis again here on a 7-yard run. The key block on this run was from our right tackle, Cooper Simmons. The offensive line has made great strides. Cooper, one of those guys who was young and inexperienced. He's done a great job, and as you see there, he slams the defender on the ground. Can't wait to see what they do here in the future. This next highlight, this is sophomore Keidron McNeil. He shows a burst of speed on the power read to pick up a gain of 6 yards. Keidron McNeil is a kid that, as a Rebel fan, you may want to keep an eye out for. And lastly, we're here in our heavy personnel and run the option. It's a great read by Hayden Federico, a great block by the tight end, senior tight end, J. Austin Cash. Fed makes one defender miss, and he is a race to pay dirt with a 37-yard touchdown run. And that concludes the offensive highlights. Now we'll go to the defensive highlights.
All right, right here you got EA running inside zone. You have number 42, Cole Michael Stevens, filling a gap one-on-one with the running back. And you can see he stops him, and then he also gets some assists for number 18, Tyler Roark. All right. Next play, you got Brody Thurman with the big fumble recovery to stop EA on the opening drive of the game. As you can see, it was a good snap. It was just some kind of miscommunication between the quarterback and the running back. It allows Brody to jump on it. All right, right here, you have a good job of Colin Watkins, number 46, him and Jaden Neck combined on the tackle. This is the running back out of the backfield. Right here, we run a blitz. You have number 28, JQ Turner, getting some pressure on the quarterback. So the quarterback throws it to his running back in the flat, and you have Elijah Thomason out there who makes a humongous tackle. Right here, you have EA moving one of their better athletes to running back. This is number 6, Sam Reagan, making a really good tackle on a really good athlete. And you can see how the D-line makes a big pile. The guy tries to jump out over it, and Sam Reagan meets him midair. All right, this is a good job of Brody squeezing on the offensive tackle and staying at home with the flow of the backfield going away from him. The quarterback boots out. The pursuit of Brody Thurman, JQ Turner, and Parker Todd comes up with a quarterback sack right here on EA's quarterback. Right here, EA is running the boot pass. You got Colin Watkins blitzing through a gap. He makes the quarterback pull the ball down and scramble. You have good pursuit from number 47, Smoltz Lilly. Makes the quarterback throw the ball away. Right here, you got Colin Watkins, does a good job staying behind the football, making a nice tackle on the running back. You also have Brody Thurman on the assist. Right here, you got EA running the counter. Tyler Roark does a good job of getting under the kick-out blocks, making the tackle. You also have Brody Thurman with the assist. This third one, EA tries to run the option. We do a good job of squeezing down the line of scrimmage with Smoltz Lilly. He hits the fullback, and as you can see, the Rebel defense pulls him backwards instead of letting him go forwards and getting the first down right there. Right here, you got Cole Michael and the running back meeting in the hole again. The running back for EA was a big physical running back, and I thought our kids matched EA's physicality all night long. Here's another open field tackle by sophomore Elijah Thomason. The kid's a 10th grader. He's going to get better with every game. This is his first start, and that's not a bad way to have your first night go as a varsity football player. All right, here at the end of the game, we brought David Moore and Grant Amundsen in the game to help with some coverage. Grant makes a nice pass breakup on the drag coming across the middle of the field. He sees that receiver crossing. He jumps in front, knocks the ball down. All right, this is number 31, Daniel Lane. He had a great game Friday night. This punt is kicked inside the 10-yard line. He's a big weapon for us. Anytime you pin the offense inside their 15-yard line, make them drive the length of the field, it gives your defense the advantage. All right, he kicks this one. I believe it hit on about the 5-yard line. It looked like he was hitting a sand wedge because you can see it hit the ground and start rolling backwards. And the Rebel punt team was down there quick enough to down it on the 6-yard line. All right, this is EA's quarterback running quarterback counter. Tyler Roark does a good job of getting the puller, make the play bounce. You have number 1, Caden Cunningham, come up from his safety to make a nice open field tackle. All right, here they're running quarterback counter. All right, Tyler does a good job, get up underneath the puller. All right, this is number 17, Hunter Fox, our sophomore kicker. He does a nice job on kickoff. He kicks it down the 6-yard line. The kickoff coverage team with great coverage. You have sophomore Jackson Hill coming in, get the big tackle on the 5-yard line. That's him, number 5, making the tackle right there. And you can see once he kicks it, the kickoff coverage team is sprinting down the field. We got guys there getting off blocks. Elijah Thompson does a good job of getting him hemmed up. And now we get the rest of the troops down there to help out and make the tackle. All right, this is the second time Daniel gets another great punt inside the 15-yard line. And we're fortunate to have him for EA because he missed the Sterlington game because he was sick and had an illness. So this is his first game back, and as you can see, he did a great job for us. All right, this is the end of the game. I think this is the last play. This is Nick coming in, making a good tackle on the receiver. All right, and you can see we get some pressure, made him throw it. Allows Nick to come up, make a good tackle on the running back. All right, right here you got Daniel punting. He kicks a good punt down the field. EA's guy decided not to catch it. You got number 46, Colin Watkins, number 95, Hayes Fuquay, getting down the field to down the punt for us inside, I believe, the 15. Actually, inside the 10, it ends up being about the 7-yard line. All right, right here, I believe this is the last play of the game. We do as a passing situation. Tyler Roark does a good spin move. Once he spun back in, it looked like his arm hit the ball out of the quarterback's hand. And then Colin Watkins, our linebacker, number 46, sees the ball on the ground, picks it up, scores a touchdown for the Rebels.
And that concludes our highlights for this week.
We know you. You were the kid in the garage taking everything apart just to see how it worked. The teenager who stayed up late brainstorming and put it all in a business plan. You knew how to build a great team and then lead it. Origin helps entrepreneurs like you every day, from the corner of the garage to the corner office. Connecting people to their dreams is our passion. Every great relationship has an origin story. Start yours today.
For years, you've trusted us with your car buying experience. You've trusted us to provide service after the sale. You've even trusted us to help keep your vehicle clean. Now it's time for us to have some fun.
Polaris of Ruston, where the road ends, adventure begins.
Hey, welcome back to Inside Rebel Football, the fourth quarter edition, and I'm joined again with head interim coach Kevin Davis. I don't know your official title, but I'm still calling it head coach, interim coach, whatever. But Coach, welcome back again, and I want to talk a little bit about Delhi Charter. No secret, the Rebels are heavily favored Friday night in a game that we should win. But they're a very good football team and a very good football program. I know you've had a chance to look at them on the defensive side of the ball. Talk about some of their players and what kind of problems they may present Friday night.
Well, they run out of a split defense. They'll switch their coverages up a little bit. They're well coached. And they got a big kid in the middle that plays pretty well. Probably 280. If I had to guess, plays their nose tackle. He can cause problems in there. They have a safety. It's a good-looking kid that covers well and works downhill pretty well. And a couple defensive ends are outside linebackers. Let me just say that. They're inverts that we call them, and they move to the football. They've played some football, so you can tell that their instincts are really well. They're good. Play some kids both ways. Going to be could be a problem for them. Right. But it's like I told ours beginning of the week. Look, we're worried about us. Okay, right. We've got to. It would be a travesty to go and play such a great game on Friday, come home and not play one. Right. and that's what I told them. I said, look, we got to play hard and we got to execute, and let's get better this week at what we do. And I love our administration. I love our teachers because this is homework coming week. Right. But the way they schedule things, it makes it really good and really nice on us. You know, homecoming dance last week, got that out of the way.
Got that done right after.
Got it out of the way.
Kick the week off.
That's right. And then this week we've had the auditorium, the shows today, and then they'll are Wednesday and then Thursday and Friday. But they're finished in time. The kids come to the field house, fifth period, they're locked in, ready to go. So I've got some great captains, and they do a great job.
Good. Well, and it always is a week. Usually this is the first time this year that I can remember in a long time. I mean, I'm talking about years that we've had homecoming this early. It's always been the 6th, 7th, 8th week of the year, and I know that it's come quick, and so you have it, you can get it over with, and you can get locked in until the season and this defensive run that we want to take and playoff run that we want to have later on down the road. So if everything goes well and West Monroe, let's just say, for instance, gets a big lead halftime, are you going to dress a few more kids than normal, or are you going to dress what you normally dress?
We're dressing everybody anyway.
Right.
You know, we bring up 3 or 4 freshmen. That's every week. So it's going to give our kids an opportunity, hopefully in that situation, to play a lot of our kids in that second half and get some kids in the ball game. But you know, we're going to stay close to the vest first half and get our kids experience that are our varsity kids. Just because, you know, a lot of times if you only play a quarter, then I think it hurts you in game time experience as far as just staying in shape, staying with the flow of the game. So hopefully we can get that done first half and go to the second half with some young guys.
Coach, I had Grant Edmondson and David Moore on the show tonight, 2 outstanding young leaders, seniors on your team, and probably the only 2 kids I think of right now that you got going both ways at times, and talk about their leadership and what they've meant to this team early on.
Well, they've been so good for our young receivers. They show great work ethic when they come out on the field. They show them how to work, how to run routes, how to prepare for games, and it's really helped those young guys that we've got coming up. And obviously both of them bring a different advantage to our side of the ball with Grant and David. You know, David, what I call a 50-50 ball guy. He'll go up and get anything. He's a quick guy, probably not a burner speed-wise, but does great on possessions. Grant can be the speed guy, big body. You can throw a ball in tight places, and he's going to come up with it. And so they bring so much to the table, and it's been so good to have them.
Well, they're 2 fine young men, and I'm glad I got a chance to interview both of them tonight. And they've also been helping you on the defensive side of the ball as well when you need to have. Yeah. So, all right, homecoming, West Monroe. This will be the 70th homecoming, West Monroe High School, Friday night, 7 o'clock, Rebel Stadium, Don Chow's Field. Go out and support this football team. Come support and see all the girls on the homecoming court and all the festivities. And we will have all the action Friday night, 7 o'clock at Rebel Stadium. For Stanley Dupuy, have a good night. God bless, and go Rebs.